And next on To the Point, a revealing and a very important discussion about Holocaust deniers. Our guest, businessman and activist Brian Cuban.
Basically, this all started actually, it goes back further than a year, back in May of, I want to say, '08. I found out there were these Holocaust denial groups on Facebook, and I wrote Facebook, and I didn't talk about it as hate speech, but I wrote them. I sent them an email that basically pointed out that they had these groups that to deny the Holocaust is illegal in 13 countries in Europe, and that they have a Facebook platform in Europe, Facebook France, Facebook Germany, and therefore they were violating their own terms of service by allowing these groups at that time. Although their terms of service have changed, they had a term of service that says you cannot upload content that is illegal. So I pointed this out to them, and I basically asked that they remove these Holocaust denial groups because it violated their own terms of service. And what they did was sent me back basically a canned email response that said that addressed it as if I had pointed out that it was hate speech, and I didn't go that way. I was going a legal way. And they said, we understand that you may find this objectionable, but we like to encourage different points of views, even controversial ones. And I wrote them back and said, well, that's nice, but that's not what I said. I said it's illegal in these countries. Your terms of service prohibits the uploading of illegal content. You need to take this down. And there was basically no response to that. And that was basically the end of that. And fast forward to May of last year, during the Holocaust Remembrance Day, President Obama gave a speech at the Holocaust Memorial, and he made, there were some very strong quotes coming out against Holocaust denial coming out of that speech. I took those quotes and wrote an article, and the article was Facebook at odds with Obama on Holocaust denial. That article got picked up by a prominent CNET blogger, and then it got picked up by the national media, and that's when all hell broke loose. And that's when Facebook took notice. Facebook did remove a couple of the groups, but they removed them because there was some very anti-Semitic speech within the groups themselves. They did not take the position that Holocaust denial is anti-Semitic hate speech per se. And so they removed the groups, but these other groups remained. And that's where it all started. Being Jewish and having Holocaust involvement on my mother's side, I have been struggling in vain to identify some individuals on her side of the family that perished. It's just a matter near and dear to my heart, and it's that simple. I just, as a Jew, and as a Jew who is someone who's, it's a little bit, generation removed, and I feel it is important for Jews to take an interest in this. When this all broke loose and it was picked up by CNN and the national media, Facebook actually invited me to come out and speak there, out in their corporate offices in Palo Alto. I went out and I made a presentation, and what came out of that meeting was that Facebook does not feel that Holocaust denial as such is anti-Semitic hate speech. They feel it is an idea. Facebook separates ideas from action, and they basically took the position that, and they have said this publicly, we have to draw a line somewhere. We're drawing it here. We are not going to remove Holocaust denial groups because the mere idea of denying the Holocaust is not hate speech as we defined it. And that's what came out of it. They are not going, as it stands today, they are not going to remove these groups. It's all about education, trying to integrate and involve as many people as possible, from as many, not just Jews, Christians, Muslims, everyone who believes that hate speech in social media and social networking is bad. And I'm trying to involve as many people as possible to get Facebook to take notice of this again. Facebook only reacts to things when it reaches critical mass and when it's going to cost them money. So my involvement on the Holocaust denial end reached critical mass. They took down a couple groups, but we need more people involved. We need to engage people on this issue. We need to educate. And I mean, and it goes on, and it's on so many different levels. On the high school level, on the social media level, we need more education on this issue. Holocaust denial. One of the goals of Holocaust denial is to move this anti-Semitic theory, just ridiculous theory, past the last living Holocaust survivor. And that's why it is so important that we continue to educate people on these issues so that when the last Holocaust survivor is gone, people are still talking about it. What I keep stressing in this battle, that social media is the battleground. That is where our young people are, and that is where we need to educate, as well as in the brick and mortar schools. And it is very important for Yad Vashem and everyone who believes that it is just important to protect the memory of the Holocaust and beat back these insidious Holocaust deniers, take advantage of this new medium to get our message out there. Thank you.